Hello, everyone. It's Brian of the Chronicler's Tale, and we're back with the Penman's words. Today, I came across something. I was watching a video. Let's bring this up here, and it's this channel. Let's minimize this. Academy of Ideas, and I like this channel. They got some good videos, but they were talking about essentially the rewiring of childhood. In which case, the premise is comparing older generations that had, as it says here, a play-based childhood to one where the internet, on-demand videos, movies, TV shows, whatever you want, is ubiquitous. Cell phones are ubiquitous. And what it covers is sort of the ways in which the younger generation, mainly Gen Z kids, what's different about their socialization, what's different about how they socialize. Because with a play-based system, it's usually open-ended play versus structured play. So kids can determine what they want to do. They can determine the risks they want to take. And they're getting face-to-face, in real life, IRL interaction with other kids. And that's led to the socialization that we've learned from. You develop more emotional fortitude. You develop better social skills, better being able to deal with criticism, being able to deal with friction and differences with other people, having a little bit of a thicker hide, bit of a spine, the fortitude, and how with kids being generationally being different, the younger kids being different, of how they are less, they have less confidence and willing to jump into the unknown, willing to tackle things that they're not know, they don't know how to do. And there's many other points in the video, which it's worth, I think it's like 12 minutes long. It's worth the watch or the listen. But what kind of strikes us as interesting is that I've got a 12-year-old of my own, and I'm a Gen X American, 50-year-old, and I grew up in the day where it's like, yeah, in second grade, I was cooking myself breakfast on the stove and able to take care of things. And yeah, we played outside, and we also lived in the time and era where whatever was on TV that you wanted to watch, it was at a set time. So you were fixed to that schedule, and everything else outside of that, you had to figure out what to do. You didn't have 24/7 on demand whenever your impulse feels like it, video media to feed yourself. And for that, I'm grateful that I have sort of that analog pre-internet upbringing, and looking at how children around my son's age behave and interact. It kind of clicked with me this afternoon that you could look at, I guess you would say, a functional literacy, the ability to do things on their own, to handle these tasks, sort of like that courage kind of thing, to have confidence in the self, to do unknown things, to try new things, to be willing to make mistakes and figure things out. Because I definitely could see that kids are less likely to do so. Like, I remember a few years back, the jokes of making fun of the early Gen Zs and late millennials, where a guy had a manual can opener, and he was telling the kid, like his son was over, and he was telling him, hey, just use the can opener, and the kid's looking at him like, how do I use this? And it's a simple crank design, because the kid grew up using, well, you have a handle, you push down on the handle, and it does all the work for you. He couldn't figure it out. And I've seen these things with handling certain everyday tasks with younger kids. And another thing I also observed, I guess this will work for now, is seeing how kids interact where they seem more prone to do stupid stuff that is indicative or would indicate having less empathetic development, having less awareness of how, what the effects of these actions are. And in a way, it's almost like they're a little bit like spectrum kids, where they do this random stuff, but that's because they don't have this broad scope of interactive experience. And so they're doing stupid stuff they probably would have done when they were 6 and 7, but they're twice the age. And also too, from a parental standpoint, the point I'm working to here is, with a parental standpoint, you're also required to assist the child more so than what we were accustomed to. Now, as an American Gen Xer, my wife is the same. We're very much, there's that certain degree of self-sufficiency and reliance on the self and individual sovereignty as far as being able to take care of things, stand on our own 2 feet, be willing to face the unknown, deal with challenges, hardships. That is common for peers in our age range. And what's interesting is that we're dealing with the situation as parents having to do things that are completely opposite of what's natural to us, of how we would do things. And we have to make that adjustment. And the way I look at it is we have to make an adjustment where we look at kids or just people in general on, what was the term I used? Functional literacy, I think was the term, and adjust the scale and understand that kids that are in the early teens, preteens, they're on a much lower side than we are. And I think for me anyway, personally, using that lens takes away a lot of the stress, so that when I see certain behaviors now, I started applying that filter. When I see certain behaviors, my son displaying certain behaviors, you're doing things a certain way. When I apply that filter, I realize, oh, that's just what he's capable of. In which case, it definitely takes a lot of stress off my mind, off my back, and also helps make a better choice in how I decide to engage with my son when he is in a certain frame of mind or dealing with a certain situation. And I think generationally, not having the same level of socialization or same level of capability, I mean, they're perfectly capable of getting to where we are today, because eventually they're going to have to. If they're going to take over the reins of humanity, they're going to have to learn the stuff. But as it so happens, the things they're dealing with, these are this generation's obstacles, this generation's challenges. And the things they learn from this, they're going to carry with them for all the people after them and the kids that come after them. So, I mean, this has been said for years, but we've got a world where kids are growing up and, well, there's always been YouTube and there's always been the internet. And now there's always been social media. This stuff's always been there. But people my age, we have the benefit of the context to realize and understand how this is a newer phenomena, seeing how these things have changed from the days we have. But we're not going back to those days. So we're going to have to humanity, go through this pain, go through these phases of making these mistakes and learning from them. It's trial and error. We have something new. Hey, let's see if this works. And whatever works. Whatever needs to get changed and fixed gets changed and fixed. Whatever needs to get dropped like a bad habit gets dropped. Plastics. It's a great idea, but now we're discovering microplastics and how it gets into every living organism. I mean, At least as far as non-plant or animal organisms, yeah, we're realizing, maybe we shouldn't be using quite so much plastics. Maybe we should try and formulate different things like, or going back to things like using glass bottles more often, glass containers, something else. Uh, Same thing with, I didn't even realize this, but like asbestos back in the day, it was a fantastic insulation. And I didn't realize this. I saw a little tidbit in The Wizard of Oz. The snow they had, that was asbestos. But then we learned, oh, wow, there's some really bad stuff about this thing. And so we stopped using it. We took corrective action. Plastics, and the next one, another one's going to be social media, internet usage, how we relate to one another. And I think there are plenty of people out there like me who are around my age who have an appreciation for simplicity and non-complicated things like a car with a basic minimal computer that handles fuel injection and adjusting air and gas ratios and does minimal things. Cars with carburetors, things that your car is not the Jetsons mobile. Jetsons is I think it was a 60s cartoon, it was like a make-believe of the future where everything's, pretty much everything that the characters interact with is automated. Well, a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to open their own cans. They want to drive their own car. They want to enjoy the simplicity of what I would call like an analog existence, where you don't have the infusion of mechanical and software technology into things. And so, yeah, this is just where we are as a species right now. And the thought came to my mind, and this seemed relevant within a much broader historical context of humanity. So hence the video. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. You can follow the Chronicler's Tale at all the social media sites listed in the show notes. And with that, I will be well, everyone. Talk to you soon.